Welcome to Real Chat,
the podcast where we, Annie and Chad, discuss real shit
loosely related to the real estate industry.
Hi, Annie.
Hello, Chad.
Are you so excited right now?
Am I?
Yeah. Are you?
About this new office?
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Welcome to the new office.
Our new chairs.
Our new podcast
Realty
chairs.
One Gold.
I know. It's still kind of boring because I don't have any of my lighting or anything, so you're still getting the fluorescent lighting and...
Yeah, I don't think it's boring at all. I think it's fun.
Yeah?
Even the microphones look more fun in here.
They are. They are more fun. They're
Still not a fan of wearing this headset, but I guess I'm always going to wear this.
Yep. It's the only way you can hear everybody talking and what it sounds like. That's the whole point. Like if we had
Because I could hear you I hear you all day long without wearing these. You starting over? I thought you were rewinding
you need to
it.
hear, because if I actually had a producer, which at some point I would, they'd be over there making all kinds of sound effects while
That's
you
funny.
and I were talking, and we'd need to hear them. That's the whole point of the headsets. Yeah, is your headset loud enough?
Oh, plenty.
Do you need it to be louder?
I do not.
Are you sure? I think you do.
Perfect.
It's a great day.
Oh, that's really loud.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Is that good? We're good.
Mm-hmm.
You're good. Okay. Yeah. So new office. We're like, it's like,
It's super fun energy.
almost.
I've been
put
working here
together.
for, a week now?
I know. Don't say that. I hope the fire marshal doesn't watch because.
I haven't been working here at all. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Exactly. We're putting it together right now. I still have to get him out here once all of our furniture and everything is installed.
I had to be here for the contractors.
He's coming then. Yeah. Next week, the agents are coming.
Are you
going to
be ready?
I am. Yes, I am. Come hell or high water. I'm
Okay.
just going to live here for the next 4 days. But yeah.
Now, who's watching that? Because I know that's illegal.
You remember when that guy was living in the back of the, what was it? Where was he living?
It was next to the dance studio, and it was her son. We don't know this. We
in O'Fallon Plaza, North
and
O'Fallon.
He was living in his mom's beauty shop.
On a cot.
In the back.
The laundry room. Sure was.
Well, I don't know why we're talking about that, but
Because it just started living in commercial property when you're not supposed to do that.
right.
Do you think people know that? Like, do you think people know zoning stuff?
No,
Explain zoning to me.
I don't know that I can.
Explain.
So every property has
I'm sure that you can. Like, I know.
every property.
Just for the record, I just put you on the complete and utter spot. We actually decided we were going to talk about something, and this is so not even closely related to that, but it's whatever.
So
Zoning.
okay. Every property has a use that it's been approved for. You can't just pick a property and decide what you're going to do with it.
And who approves these uses?
The magic government,
The fairies in the sky.
the zoning police.
The Department of Zoning. And what is the other word? What is that department? And it's the building department. There's like a whole board in the city of O'Fallon anyways that does it. Zoning and
so you
planning and zoning.
Planning and zoning, that's it.
I'm like, oh my God, why won't it come to me?
But yeah, you can't live in residential zoning.
No, I didn't know that for a long
you
time.
can live in residential. You can't live in commercial.
Good catch.
Can we start this over?
Good catch. I didn't know for the longest time that, I knew there was zoning and you have all these different types of zoning. There's codes, zone A, R, B, blah, blah, whatever it is. Every city has different letters and stuff, but that they are like commercial or multifamily or single family, like those. And I thought that the government just picked randomly, right? Because in my head, there's not really a lot of times a blatantly logical on the face plan for where these buildings pop up, right? Like I kind of feel like sometimes you look at the city and you have this but would be commercial area, and then all of a sudden, right in the middle of it, there's this like 4-story apartment building going up, and it's like, at what
Which
point
is
did
commercial.
that? It's not though. It's multifamily. That's a different zoning code in O'Fallon. So I'm like, it's totally random to me because of that. But then if you go, the city actually has a master plan
Yeah.
that they approve. I can't remember how often.
Have
the
you
city
ever
of
been to a
O'Fallon
planning
does
and
it.
zoning meeting
No,
and watch them duke it out when they want to
I would love
change
to go.
something, or, like a resident wants to get something?
Yeah,
It's a lot.
is it dramatic? I
The
know
ones
they were-
I've been to are dramatic. Like a lot of people yell and it's emotional.
I know they were having a fight about the subdivision that they were building over there off of Highway Double D, because the plat of land, the builder wanted to do half-acre lots, which is, pretty typical for a subdivision in St. Charles County, and in O'Fallon specifically. So, and the people all around him out there off of Highway D, they all have like 3 or 5 acre
Right.
lots, and they did not want that subdivision to go in with half-acre lots. They wanted him to maintain the minimum of 3-acre lots, which is what it's zoned for right now. And this wasn't even the city of O'Fallon. This was St. Charles County, because also that's really
Unincorporated.
weird. Like, yeah, O'Fallon is like the weird, like if you actually look at a map of the municipality of O'Fallon, it looks like a jigsaw puzzle not put together. But it does. It's crazy when you look at some of those things. Like, you drive down the street just right here in front of our new office, that road that's on the other side of the bank is unincorporated St. Charles County. It's not part of the city of
Right.
O'Fallon, but it's just that one road right there. Like,
Yeah.
it's just this little strip and there's maybe a dozen houses on the road or 2 dozen houses on the road that
Yeah.
are
Some of that in
not part of the
Cottleville
city.
has that little strip
It's
over there.
so crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that zoning and planning meeting was,
That
from what I
makes it
hear,
really
chaotic.
hard to set up a search for a client when they have a specific area they want to live into.
It does. Yes, it does.
So,
That's true.
I think the only planning and zoning I was at, and maybe it was a little bit different, it was when a car dealership was going in. There was some vacant land. It was zoned commercial. Car dealer wanted to go in, which made it a little bit different. I'm trying, it's going back like 30 years, but the residents of the subdivision that butted up against it were fighting that going in. It was going to be a strip center, which they were okay with. At the time, car dealers had the big loud speakers. That would be like, John, call on line 4. And the neighbors.
Somebody's dating herself today.
But so it's not just, the residents, the citizens do have a say. There's
Oh,
just
yeah.
a process to go through if you
Well,
want to
and
get
the
something rezoned or block it.
The master plan gets redone or adjusted on an interval or a recurring interval, not a reoccurring interval, but a recurring interval.
We've already done this one.
And so you can go and give input then too, if like there's an area that you don't like in the master plan. But I didn't know that there is actually a whole plan for the entire city that they follow. They don't just pick that crap out of their butt, which is kind of how it seems sometimes.
No, of course.
But yeah, and then I don't think people think about that either, which is why they need a realtor to consult with when they're getting ready to buy a house. But zoning can make a big difference about what you are and aren't allowed to do.
Absolutely.
And title insurance, which you get through your title contingency process of buying a house, doesn't cover zoning issues. So
Well, and then it's another argument for having a local realtor.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of times, we're licensed in the entire state of Missouri,
Right.
but it doesn't mean you should go down and start selling land or houses in an area you're not familiar with because
Right.
you have no idea
What the plan is.
That's right.
Right. No, and the contract is not contingent upon finding that stuff out.
Right.
Our contract that we use, you have to do that research before you put a contract down on it or offer to buy a property.
That's why as realtors, we're
St.
very
Charles County.
involved in all of that.
It's true. That's why I stay
We know
on
what's
that, yeah.
coming. We sometimes we're helping fight to get something, and we're
Try
helping to block
anyways.
something, and
Right.
yeah.
Try to anyways. That was how I found out about that one out there off of Highway Double D, was on the, that's one committee at the Association's Government Affairs. They track all that stuff and they do reports, and so we read those, but that's how I found that out. And then that builder was like, it was an interesting battle. The builder was like, I'll just go annex to the city of O'Fallon, which I didn't realize you could do. But then it made me go, oh, that's how
Explain
the city
that.
of O'Fallon got so jacked up. So that builder owns the land. Right now, it's not incorporated or an official part of the city of O'Fallon, right? It's not beholden to city of O'Fallon's master plan or zoning regulations or taxes or anything like that. It's only under St. Charles County. So it's unincorporated St. Charles County. Well, but because the builder owned that land, he can go to the city of O'Fallon and petition to submit his land to that municipality. So he effectively wanted to become a part of the city of O'Fallon, which...
Why? How would that benefit him?
Because he thought he could get the half-acre lots approved through the city of O'Fallon's planning
Because now
and
they
zoning
would
committee. Because now
They would have a dog in the hunt.
Or they have control
Yeah.
over it. Yeah. So he's basically giving control of the zoning of his land to a different governing body. He's taking it away from St. Charles County and giving it to the
Interesting.
municipality. Interestingly enough, the city of O'Fallon told him they didn't want it, which I was like, that's weird. I'm surprised that happened.
Sure, they had a reason.
I know. I wonder what the reason was. Because you would think, what would be the downside for the city to have more land incorporated? You're going to get more taxes.
Yeah, something. There's a reason. They wouldn't just turn down money.
Right. I wonder if it was because of the layout on Highway D. I wonder if they annexed because I think if they annex certain areas or a portion of like state highways.
I bet you could find this out.
I probably
But
could.
this is public record of some sort.
Thinking about it is fascinating to me. So I don't know. I wonder if they would have had to take over maintenance of Highway Double D. Because they would own both sides of it.
We sold some land down there.
We did. That was one of the very first vacant lots we ever sold.
It was this tiny little strip.
What was the name of that road? Benny Road? Is that it?
I don't remember.
Benny Road and Highway Double D. It is. Benny Road.
We learned a lot about land.
Yeah,
in
we
that.
did. Neighbor ended up buying it because it was a tiny strip. I
Right.
mean, like
It was of
like
no use to any.
45 feet wide.
It was a significant amount of land, but the way that it sat, it was only going to be good for one of the neighbors to add it to their land.
Right.
It was going to be very hard to build on it.
It was skinny and long.
Yeah, very hard to build on.
And then half of it was like a gully.
A gully.
Fern Gully. That's what just came into my head. Now I've dated myself.
I don't even know what that is.
It was a cartoon movie from when I was a kid.
Oh,
Fern Gully? Maybe it's part of a cartoon movie.
never heard of it. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, so we're in the new office. You and I are. Agents are coming in on Monday, so that's exciting. Today we had our very first momentum meeting, didn't we?
We did.
I didn't attend it, but
We missed you.
I know. I've just busy and,
Yeah.
for those of you that don't know, Annie really does all of the coaching of the agents for our production and all of that stuff. Since you're the designated broker, all I really do is run
Everything
the place.
else. Yeah, it's not how we normally describe what Annie does and what Chad does.
Annie does most of our selling too as a duo. So I do all the operations of the compliance at the office. And so she had this idea this year, which is, I'm really excited about these actually. So business planning is always a hard conversation for the agents and they do it. But then I think people don't realize that on a business plan, you have to go back to that plan and check in on it, right? Because what's the point of having a plan if you don't ever say, oh, am I doing what I said I was going to do, right? I think, and so we decided we were going to do these quarterly momentum meetings, right? Am I understanding that right?
Yeah. So the business plan, when we talk about that eating an elephant, the business plan is, if you will, it's the whole elephant. And these momentum meetings are, how do I take this overwhelming plan that I have now set for the entire year of 2025, and how do I break that down into goals and strategic actions, whether you call them marketing strategies or action plans, whatever.
Right.
But how do you break that down into what I do quarterly, what I do monthly, what I do weekly, what I do daily to get you to that plan?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people leave that business planning and they go, I'm motivated, I'm gonna do this, and then they go and they sit down that first day and they're like, I don't know what to do.
No.
So we went
Familiar
through.
with that.
Yeah, so we went through today. I know we've already talked about momentum. We say that word a lot, but just getting that momentum going for the agents. So we went through and we talked about standards for your business, because that's really the how. How are you going to run your business? Today we just talked
What do you
about
mean? Standards, like give me an example of a standard.
So a standard for a realtor, one of the standards we said is I'm going to work on my business, X amount of hours. And we started with the example of, if I opened up where we were at today at the 80/20 building, there's a dog treats store. Mm-hmm. So if you were
Treats Unleashed.
Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Yes, I could see it out the window. So that was my example all day. But so if that was the business I was opening, you would have standards for that. When you first opened it, you would say, oh, I'm going to have hours of operations of, 10 to 5 or whatever that was. So as realtors, that doesn't exist. And all of a sudden,
True.
realtors sometimes flounder with, I don't know what to do. I don't know when I'm going to do it. Every day I got to make a choice to do it. So we started with setting up standards of how many hours a week are you going to work on your business? And as a realtor, there's a difference in working on your business and in your business.
Yeah.
So really talked about what they were going to work, their minimum standards. Talked about.
That's such a good point. Like, I don't know that I've even ever actually occurred for me, or I thought about it to say it that way. I think we've had that conversation in a lot of different ways, but to put it that way that's a great example. Like, if you were going to open the Treats Unleashed, you would have operating hours. Mm-hmm. What are the operating hours for your business? Mm-hmm. And what are you willing to do and not willing to do? And even standard operating procedures. Like, what do you do when you open?
Well, and even the hours, it came up today with one of the agents said, I run another business too, so it's hard for me to write that down because I don't know. Mm-hmm. And so then you follow that conversation through, and why don't you know? Why would you, if this real estate business that you just opened is a priority, it's very easy to always make it last though.
Right.
So all of a sudden somebody else wants something and you're like, okay, well, I'll do that. And then somebody else wants something and you do that. But you've got to be able to have some concrete rules of, no, this is sacred time that I work my business.
Right.
Because otherwise you'll find as a realtor, you're not working.
Right.
So
it's true.
So we treated it today as, what would those be? How many vacations are you going to take a year?
Yeah. How many days off do you get?
Yeah. How many days a week are you going to
do you
work?
get?
Right. Because all of a sudden we talked about, the kids were off school for 3 weeks. How many realtors just didn't work for those 3 weeks?
Right.
Rather than figuring, well, no, this is not my vacation. This is my business. This is my livelihood.
Which is where, and that is where there is like, I never thought about that. Like, that's it. Yeah.
So, and then the tie into.
If it was sorry, I got stuck. If it was
you should have been there. It was a great meeting.
There was a glitch in the matrix. There was a glitch in the matrix. Because like if you were working a real job, which we compare it to a real job a lot, like how if you had a boss telling you what to do, you would also have a boss telling you that, okay, I get it. Your kids are off work, but you've already used your 5 PTO days for the year, so figure it out.
You've got to treat it like that.
Yeah.
And then there was we have a little saying that came up today, and that was, if you're not changing it, you're choosing it. Mm. And we ended that standards with that. If you're not changing what you're doing, then you're choosing to continually live in that chaos that a lot of real estate agents feel like they don't know when to work, they don't know what to do. So we focused on that. Everybody set their own standards because we're not all the same.
Right.
And then we moved on to taking their business plan, and we talked about it as I am, not I'm going to try to sell 25 houses this year, or I want to sell. It's I am. Mm-hmm. And then we broke it down into the first quarter. And that's all the farther we got today was what they're going to do in the first quarter. We set goals, and then we made strategic action plans from that. So
Cool. That sounds like it was a good meeting.
I think it was.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot of information. Business planning, it's business plans, even when you're done with them and you've done it, they're overwhelming. Because it's a lot to look at like at once. Like when you really look at, when you think about whatever that song is 525,600 minutes from rent. You know what I'm talking about? That's a lot of minutes in a year. And you don't realize how many things you actually do in the year. And then when you sit down at the beginning of the year and you put all of that down, like, you know, I know that some of the full-time agents like looked at how many touches they needed to get to their 25 transactions or whatever it is that they want to do for the year. And they were totally panicked because when you look at it from the whole year, it's a big number. And you don't realize you do that throughout the year naturally. But so it becomes less overwhelming, you know, as you break it down into that weeks and months, it can be very overwhelming. So that's a good idea.
Where we got today was after you put it all down. So then you have to say, if I do all of these actions, will I achieve this goal? And we did 3 goals. So then if I achieve these 3 goals, do I have the momentum to achieve my business plan?
Yeah.
And that's the tying it all together.
Right.
Because otherwise you're just out there doing random things. And one thing that was eye-opening for me today was with the agents is it's not in our nature to make things specific and measurable.
Oh, yeah.
And even the more we did it, it was, you know, like it would be like, oh yeah, because I'd be like, well, how are you going to measure that? How can you make that more specific? You know, it was, you know, I'm going to do Popeyes. Well, how many are you going to do? Because then you say, well, if I do that many, you go back to your business plan.
Right. Does that give me my touches?
Right.
Right.
And if it doesn't, then you have to go back to the plan. It's, you know, we were talking about, you know, I like to use
It is funny how humans can so like easily, how easy it is to commit without committing, leaving the door open for ourselves.
Here was my example. If I just say for the year, I want to lose weight and I lose 1 pound, did I get my goal? Woohoo!
Right.
Right. No, how, you know, there's a difference. They're saying I'm going to lose 30 pounds.
Yeah.
So, it was, I think the agents all enjoyed it, got a lot out of it. We're doing that every quarter.
Yeah.
And then a couple things that came out of that are just some classes that, you know, some agents shared that we have one agent who does a great job with the CRM. We have an agent who's doing really good, you know, using RPR. And so they're going to do some little classes because this is my Ray Kroc quote, none of us is as good as all of us.
Oh, for sure.
And, you know, and our waking up to win this morning was talking about we're not each other's competition. Right. You know, we are each other's support system.
Right.
As a brokerage. We're here to help each other. We're here to share our ideas and our support. So I think it was good.
No, and they all have such different strengths too. It's one of the things I like about the dynamic and the vibe that we have is that everybody has a niche that they're really good at. Like, and
even you and I are total opposites.
Oh, for sure.
Of what our strengths are.
Oh yeah.
Because if you ask me all that technical stuff and blah blah blah, that's what I hear.
Right. No, it's true. I mean, we're definitely. But this is what.
But if you want somebody to coach you through and
emotionally support you,
then I'm your girl.
That's right. Hanny's the one with feelings.
But if you want to know you want to know all the rules and the laws and the compliance, I'm always like, call Chad.
I am a process person, 100%.
Well, and you retain all that information.
I can't, because that's how I remember how to do it. Like I can't, you know, that used to piss me off so bad when I was younger. Is I would have, to your credit, you do this too, but it's a good thing. But it used to piss me off when people would tell me to do something, and the first question out of my mouth when I get told to do something is why. Like if you don't tell me why I'm doing it, I'm not doing it.
Right.
And I may not even do it after you tell me why I'm doing it, because doesn't make
Right.
any sense to do it, or there's a better way to do it, or I can do it a more efficient or fast way.
Always tell
But
somebody why.
You can, yes, and you go through all of these things, and they used to train, and I would get so bored because repetitive behavior to me is boring if I don't understand the implication beyond the behavior. Like, why am I putting this in the contract? What is the purpose of me doing this? And so that's the part that I like, that I don't think you really care about as much as I do. But
wait,
like,
I
you
missed
don't,
that.
that's where we're different. Like, I don't think you really necessarily care like I do about the why. Like, you'll do things just because you do the beginning and you like to do the end.
Well, for
like,
sure.
I really like the middle. Like,
For
I like
sure.
you want to plug into that Ethernet port over there and get on the internet, and I want to know that Ethernet port goes through a cable up into the ceiling. Back to the patch board, into the UPC, into the router, out to the internet. Like, I want to know how that
I
works.
just like to live with all the magic in the world. I hit send to an email and magically it goes through the universe. I could care less how it gets there.
I know.
I just want it to get there. It is true.
It is funny. Yeah, not me. Like, I want to know how that zoning regulation came about. Going back to ours, and you're
I'm like, oh my God.
we're still talking about the master plan.
The voice in my head was like, oh, please move on. This is so boring.
Somebody thinks it's interesting just because you don't.
That's why I sat here politely and engaged.
I know. Emotional support. I'd have cut you off
It is true.
and moved on with
It
my
is
life.
true. You would have.
That's funny. So that's exciting about the momentum meeting, though. I'm excited about those this year. I think that was one big thing that, when I think about the brokerage, one of the big things that was an opportunity for us was just providing more in-person together time or collaboration time. I think we do a really good job of collaboration, but most of it's virtual. We have our waking up to win during the day and every morning. And
That was one of the standards that a lot of us set too.
What was that?
Was to be on waking up to win.
Yeah. That's the important part of
Super cool how that just
showing up.
came about, And that's I think that's
came about.
how we came about with waking up to win.
How did we come about?
We were doing the typical broker weekly meeting, and I think one of the things that's probably
Monday.
for both of us a strength is we don't like to do things just to do them. That's why I want to know why I do it.
Right.
But when we talked about that, it was like things were changing. Everybody gone through, through COVID or whatever. And we decided that, if you miss that weekly meeting, now you possibly could be going 2 weeks before you see somebody or talk to somebody about your business. So we decided to do that morning call. We were going to limit it to 10 minutes and then we squeaked it to 15. And now sometimes we're cutting it off right at 30. But it is
sometimes
just that
we stayed at 15, but the agents love it.
it's
And
just
that's
that daily
why-
dose of engaging in your business.
Sometimes I want to stop talking and they're just like, keep going. And I'm like, okay, guys, I'm tired. But I love that. And they do, they get on. I mean, people are always astonished when I say that too, because we have 19 agents at the office and every day at 10 o'clock we do that call. And I would say on average, there's at least 7 or 8 agents on the call every day. And so that's impressive, that people show up for that every day. Because when I say that to a lot of other agents or brokers, they're like, I would never do that. That's, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, but you guys are thinking of it like a typical broker meeting. And it's not.
No.
It's literally a daily motivational huddle.
Right.
That might have a topic that is related to real estate. Like sometimes we don't even talk about real estate.
Right.
Sometimes we talk about well-being or
about mindset.
Yes.
It's about motivation. But
It is. So.
And we do not miss it. And I'm very proud of that because it would be easy to cancel that a lot.
Yeah.
And we don't.
5 days a week. I mean, we don't do it on national holidays. Let's be real.
Right. National holidays and.
That's about it.
Right. Or if we have something.
Yeah. But
at the same time, like
even
business
if
planning
we
day.
have, something for the agents at the same time. You and I have things at the same time all the time, but we'll have guests. Yeah.
Our agents are now doing our experienced agents are a great job of stepping in when we can't. So anyway,
and they love that too.
That's one of our standards too.
Yeah.
Because you do, as a realtor, you have to have a way to get plugged in.
Right.
And you
No.
don't have to come to the office to do that.
And it's it's an individual sport being a realtor, even though you're with a team. Like it is,
Right.
it can be a very individual sport. Um, even when you're on a team, I've heard team members say that, like, because the real estate team is out there, but even that is they have their role and they're responsible for their role on the team.
But we don't tell you what. That's what I like about our team. We're not telling you what to do. It's not a huddle where we're like, okay, go get on the phone and call 5 people, or no, it's never about that.
No, I would punch somebody if they told me. You'll never get that out of me because I don't want to be told that. I want to figure it out on my own. You give me the process.
I'm just laughing that you said punch people.
Why?
I don't know.
I would punch somebody. I've never punched anybody in my
I know.
life. I'm not a violent person physically. Emotionally, I can be pretty mean.
It's true.
Sometimes when it's deserved. Sometimes when it's not. I wonder if they'll be able to hear your granddaughter scream in the background or not. Or whether these microphones and this board are good enough to cut that out. Definitely going to have to add some
You
acoustic
do not know that for
panels.
sure that it's mine.
Yes, I do. I heard your daughter.
Oh.
I'm so sure it's not even funny. 100%
We're going to have
convinced.
to do something to soundproof this room, though, because some people are going to want to be in here recording when there's the whole office full of people.
I know we're going to have to put some acoustic panels up. That's why I just said, which we looked at. You sent me those ones anyways, but
I
like
really
said,
do like those.
At the beginning of the I know, but don't, yeah, I guess drop a comment. What do you want to see behind us? Because I think that I don't think wood would be good. I do like those panels you sent me, but they're wood tone, and I don't think wood's going to be good.
Because
I just don't think it would look good. I think black.
you mean the color, just the color?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it'd be
probably
too much
paint them.
going on, don't you think?
I do not.
No? We can try it.
I think we need like a big
Yeah, we're going to put something up there.
sign or something.
Leave a comment if you're listening on what we should put behind us. For those of you watching on YouTube, we need input.
We do.
We do argue about this a lot.
And always choose Annie's opinion, not Chad's. So these panels that I have are like, how would you describe them? Like
They're wood slats. I mean, yeah, slats.
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 And there's something in between them, like
Well, they're backed by foam. Yeah, they're acoustic panels. They're made so in the advertisement or whatever, you put them behind your TV because then the sound refurbs.
I
off
just liked how
towards
they
you.
looked.
I know. They make all different kinds.
I did
of
not care
acoustic
how they
panels
functioned.
that all look fun.
Yeah, they were
So,
very fun.
Yeah, if you just go on and Google acoustic panels, I'm just not sure about wood. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe. Who knows? We do need some decor up in here, though. Our one little sad bottle of wine, which is great. I love that bottle of wine. It's fun. And my one gold ball is not enough. Need some more zhuzh. We need to zhuzh it up. So, anyways,
We good?
any last thoughts on real shit loosely related to real estate for the
No.
week?
I'm good.
We have the agents in here next week, and we're back at it.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what we add to the set next
All
week.
right.
This has been episode 14 of Real
15.
Chat. No, we're 14.
Okay. Just testing you.
Yeah, See you next week for episode 15.
I thought we were episode 14 last time. I think you're wrong.
I'm not.
You check it before you came in?
Yes.
Okay.